Okay, this is going to be on page Reish Daled. It's just reading across the top. I think maybe this would be helpful to try to remember what was really going on in here. Mispashtan Asvan Labasar. So he said behind the back of the head of Erich Anpin, there's a spashtus of these letters. This kololam bezera de Anpin, and they wind up mixing in the hair of Zer Anpin. Kamba the Sharia begulgolda, like I guess it's going to rest inside of the head of Zer Anpin. Ishtakachum is pashta b'kol guf, and it spreads through all the body. The l'shachlo lakula, to incorporate everything. Ba'amar nekei kad tali. So this very fine hair that's off the top of the head of Erich Anpin, when it's hanging down, talion idun asvan, inside of it are these letters, Yud Kei Vav. So he said, Kad iskaliv is the zera, when they appear in Zer Anpin, this Yashvan be Ilan Asvan, there is a place for these letters to reside. Rikre Bahum, and Zer Anpin therefore is called, he says, Yaakov, because the balance is the balance scale. Something like that. So I could have practiced a little bit better, maybe got a little bit better, but let's see what we're going to do now. So now we're going to go, and I'll read across the top. Yod of Atika Sasin Beitrui, the Yod of Atika, which we're seeing that this is referring to the Kruma Davira, is closed up in its place, or maybe it closes up. Begin Shema, that Shema lo ishtakach, because there's nothing to be found. I think he means that the light of the Mochas Timah does not get out. It's covered over by this Yud. So he said, "Hey ispatach ba'achra." But then there's in another place. I'm not sure what it means, but I think it means that the hay, which is the nostril, the partashka, we saw that before, ispatach ba'achra. So it opens up into a new dimension, I think, which is Zer Anpin, or to the next level down. The inkiv betrin nukvin, and its opening is through the true nostrils. Vishtakach betikunim, and we find it in the tikunim. I'm not sure what this means. Vav ispatach, ispasach, ba'achra. That phrase. We have to figure out what that phrase means. Dechsev, cholech l'doidim l'meisharim, it goes straight to my beloved. Kibutzin de kardenusa, the makasya pischa, like the butzin of the kardenusa that covers over the opening. Now that's very mysterious. So let's see what it actually means. So he says again, and we were here in 2022, so we've been here a long time. Yod of Atika, Os Yud Shel Atika, that is Erich Anpin. Shuhu Sod HaKrum Shemakasav V'Soisim Es Mochas Timah HaMis'atach B'Ha'araz HaChochma Shebekeser, which is crowning over B'Ha'araz HaChochma, the Ha'ara that comes out of Chochma Shebekeser. Now this probably is something to be thought about in general. He says that the higher level would be the what's he call it, the Avira would be the higher level. Here the higher level is covering over the lower level, and usually think about covering being done by the lower level. I just funny about this to try to tell you something about this Avira. Episode Kitar HaYotze B'Mochas Timah. So he says it covers over that, and then there's a Mis'ater B'Ha'aretz HaChochma Shebekeser, Episode Kitar, like it's a smoke, the Yotze B'Mochas Timah, which I think he's talking about some kind of a vapor or smoke or radiance, very fine, misty radiance that's able to somehow penetrate this Avira. Sasim Be'itroi. So he explains, Hine Zeha Atara Shema'ater HaBechas HaKruma, Shuha Chochma Shebekeser, now that is the Kruma is not the Chochma, it covers it over. Nishar Sasom, so the Chochma Timah remains closed. Then the niftach the hispasha bekrum, and it doesn't go up to really just spread into that krum. Now you're going upwards, like I say, you're going more panimi. Kihi b'chinas chachma shene'elma me'eni kol chai. This is the hidden light. It's the hidden chachma. Ve'en mispashet b'mena etzem ha'or. But so the real etzem of the light doesn't spread. Rak ha'ar bilvad, but just some sort of a glow. V'lechein afal gav she'osius hey and vav the Erich Anpin. Yesh lechem b'pesicha v'kitzaz gilucha b'nikva achotim, that you have some opening there, some revelation of them in the nostrils. The v'shesha kitzvos aguf k'lechalon, and we're going to see later on that it also goes into the body of Erich Anpin. Im kol zecha b'os yud shel kruma da'avira, so this kruma, which is this kruma da'avira, ein lo b'shum gilucha b'sicha, it has no revelation. So he says you don't see it, the b'sicha doesn't have an opening. Begin shma lo ishtakach, the fisha osius shem havaya, because the letters yudke vavke, ein a nimsa v'nizgala, can't be found, is not revealed b'bechinis chachma, in chachma. I'm not sure what that means exactly. The Moshe and the Amar says it's b'chachma me'ein timsa, that it's impossible to find it. Can't find it. The elma me'ein mikol chai, and it's completely hidden. So what he brought in the idea of this hay, he says even though the hay has an opening, varmo hod is petach ba'achra. He says os hay shel Erich Anpin, shemis'atach be'or hayotzach b'bina shebekeser, that comes that crowns over the light that comes out of the bina of keser. After who sason lamala b'shorsho, even though that it's covered up above at its root, who niftach v'nizgala oror, it opens up, it reveals its light, b'makom acher lamata, in another place further down below. Where is that place? V'var v'ketze nizgala v'heichon hu hamakom achreho shabo mizgala, that in that this light is found, or is revealed. V'var v'inkin betrin nukvin. So the ruach that comes out of the bina in keser, over b'chotem, it passes through the nose. Again, ruach hayotze, there's a level of light called ruach, I guess. That ruach, it is a breeze, it's a wind, it's a breath that comes out of bina shebekeser. Over b'chotem, it passes through the nose of Erich Anpin. And it makes openings on the two, I guess, the two sides of the two nostrils. So then, this is what it says when it said b'tikunim. I didn't know what it meant over there. Nimsa v'nizgala os hey. So it comes out that you have a revelation of the letter hey. Shehuba b'chinas tikuna shvihid v'tikune gugolta hanikra trin nukvin to bardashka. So he says that this area is that. It's the seventh tikkun of the gugolta of Erich Anpin. He said, which is the nose. Nukvin to bardashka canal. V'hu sod os hey. This is the secret of the letter hey. Shemizgala b'shnei nikve achotim, which now is being revealed at this place in Erich Anpin. There's actually a letter there. V'amar od vav is petach ba'achra. Then he says furthermore that the vav opens up in its place. The os vav shel Erich Anpin, shemisater b'or hayotze midas shebekeser hanal, which is covered over by the das shebekeser now. Niftach, it opens up, v'nizgala oram b'makom acher, and its light now becomes revealed in a different place, which is kolomer, avshahu sasum. Even though that it's closed up, b'sharshal l'mala b'makom adas, in the place of das, niftach v'nizgala v'his pashtuso l'mata, it opens up, it becomes revealed as it spreads downward, v'shifa kitzvos the guf Erich Anpin. So even though it's covered over in some way, I'm not sure exactly what that meant, but even though that it's covered over, it's going through the body of Erich Anpin. The chsev, it reads like the cholech, the dodi, the mesharim, like it goes to my beloved in a straight line or directly. Kamosha Kosa, like a written, but like this, but possible so the Das when we talk about Das. Now, what I'm missing here is how Das got into this equation, but we're talking about that. Shikosa, but possible so the Das. The whole idea that something which is less physical is able to cover over something which is more physical. Say, for example, that's what's down below it. So, like the Kruma Davira is able to covers over and seals. It's part of what it does. It seals the Mochas Dimah. But the Mochas Dimah would be more dense than the Kruma Davira. Here we have the same idea that Das, which is also a higher level, would cover over this opening to allow Zeir Anpin to grow through the body. So let me see if I could just try to understand this better. Shahola b'makom shar shalomala comes from its place of above. Al makom tiferes the Erich Anpin to the place of the tiferes of Erich Anpin, and nikra Dodi, and that tiferes is called Dodi. There's a lot to be said about this. Mispasha because shisha kitzvahs guf derech chut hashidra spreads through the whole body through the spinal column of Erich Anpin. Shechola be'emsach b'mishor, going straight through down this line. Be'bechinas amuda de emseisa becomes this concept of the middle line. Sod meisharim, which is the concept of this straight idea, or meisharim, to straighten things out. So he says it's covered over by the boots in the kardenuso. His pashtus hadas because spheres haguf shamarno. It's spreading in all these different ways through the body. Hu besod kavamida. It's the concept of the measuring line. Hanikra boots in the kardenuso. What is the measuring line? The measuring line. We've seen this phrase before. He says it's called the boots in the kardenuso. Ba'amar Odin, he says furthermore, the Lemakasya Pischa. Kicha Gavuras to Das, so Das has Gavuras and Chasadim. So the Gavuras to Das, Mispashnim B'makom HaPeh, they spread from the place of the mouth to Erich Anpin. So Heva Leyotzim in the peh, it's like a vapor, it's like breath. Umakasim Pesach HaPeh, and they cover up the opening of the mouth. He said, "Va'achar shabir besichas v'gilui osis yud kei vav the Erich Anpin, when they come out and they're revealed now in Erich Anpin." He says, "Yesh hevdel bein os yud the Erich Anpin she'ein niftach legalus oro, doesn't open up in any way. The bein osius hey and vav the Erich Anpin." Sheniftachim, they have an opening kind of idea. The galos oram yuvoyer. So he said, "Oza yuvoyer at." That's what we explain now. Kikach gam his kavlos haoras the osius Yaakov the Erich Anpin, the osius Yaakov the Zeir Anpin, and this girl el, which we meant before that the letters combine. Yesh hevdel bein his kavlos os yud the Erich Anpin, the os yud the Zeir Anpin. The bein his kavlos osius hey vav the Erich Anpin, but osius hey vav the Zeir Anpin. There's a difference. Vav la'elach vav l'tata. Ki os vav ha'elyon shal dasas it as dasam is pashetet b'shisha kitzvos the Erich Anpin nechlalos mishtatefes ba'os vav ha'tachtona the Erich Anpin. So in other words, it is the Zeir Anpin of Erich Anpin or the goof. So hey lo hey to the tata kamo kain os yud elyon shebenik ve'achodim the Erich Anpin the chlalos v'nishtatefes ba'os hey tachtona the Zeir Anpin. Yud le'elach uba lo ishtate la'achra, but that Yud that originally was in the very top of Erich Anpin, in this we're talking about the Kruma Davira, of Os Yud El Yoda, the Kruma Davira, ein mishtatefes im Yos Yud tachtona to Zeir Anpin, it doesn't join it. The little Salek Bahador, they don't go together. V'kom came Os Yud tachtona to Zeir Anpin, ein oilo. Salek means goes up. The his column, but Os Yud El Yona the Erich Anpin. The Indian is like this: is Os Yud El Yona. And if the Galus, it never opens up to be able to reveal the light that is so pneumistic that is coming from this Avira, this Kruma Davira. So he's the Galus Oregonal. Bar Remiza, the Remaza, the only thing you have, that's why it says it shows the hair is like it hangs down, but it's just a little bit. V'kol is kol those oz yud elyona de Erich Anpin oz yud tachtona the zer Anpin nirmezes b'derek remez bilvad. You only have a remez to it. What's the remez? V'zeh yesh kiyum the oz yud, and this is the way that you have the kiyum the oz yud tachtona. I think the remez is that since it exists in zer Anpin, then it has to have an origin elsewhere. So where is that? That's the Yud in the Kruma, the Vira that's so deeply inside of the Golgotha, the Erich Anpin. Tachtona zer Anpin, ki os Yud el Yona, the Erich Anpin, ein kiyum the Yud tachtona, the zer Anpin. So it does not directly affect, I guess, kiyum. It does not sustain the Yud tachtona, zer Anpin. It doesn't connect. That's where I'm leaving it. And now we've gone through the basic Rav. Tomorrow I think we should, we're out of time. Okay, so tomorrow I think we should review this just to get the words right, repeat the words of the Rashbi, because you get lost in this sea of understanding over here to try to figure it out. And now we'll go to the back and we'll start seeing what's going on over there. Thanks for learning. Kol tov.